Hey everyone. So I've been traveling a lot the last week. We moved from Florida to New Mexico and we drove the whole way. So it was a lot of driving and we took Pooh Bear with us, of course. And so that made me think about pet safety in the car. So that's what I want to talk to you about. The most important thing to do when you transport your pet anywhere is to put them in a crate. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute ride or a 4-day ride. You want to put them in a crate because just like people, they need to be restrained in case of a car wreck. You don't know what's going to happen. And a few years ago when I moved from Ohio to Florida with Pooh Bear, we were in a car wreck and her being in a crate saved her life. She would have been crushed to death if she wasn't in a crate. So the way that you tell if you have the proper size crate for your dog or cat is to get one that they can stand up, turn around, and lay down comfortably in, and no bigger than that. If it's too big, then they can still fly around and get injured. And then I take it even further and I stick the seat belt through the handle of the crate and buckle that in. So I know Pooh Bear is not going anywhere. If I even just slam on the brakes to avoid a wreck, then I know she's staying in that crate on that car seat and she's okay. I would suggest a plastic crate over a wire crate just because I feel like it offers more protection and they're harder to escape if you have an animal that is an escape artist and likes to escape. Pooh Bear's really, really smart and she's figured out how to open doors. She's taught herself how to open the bedroom door, and so I don't want to take a chance that she would figure out how to escape from a wire crate, but you know, wire crates come apart a little easier. They are not as escape resistant. And I feel like, you know, they can get caught. The animal, if they're wearing a collar or something, they can get caught on the wires. So that's not exactly safe either, especially for travel. So I recommend plastic crates over wire crates. There are special harnesses and seatbelts for bigger dogs like a Great Dane or Saint Bernard. You know, obviously you won't necessarily be able to fit a crate in the back seat of your car for them, so there are seatbelts for them, harnesses so that you can buckle them in and restrain them, because, you know, if you hit the brakes real hard, they can fly forward through the windshield. We don't want that. We want our animals to be safe. And this isn't just for cats and dogs. If you're transporting rabbits or hamsters or, you know, whoever you love, big or small, in your family, your furry little family member, you want to keep them safe. And there are travel cages for those animals. So you don't want to transport them necessarily in their regular everyday cage because, again, that's too much room. They can still get thrown around inside that cage and get hurt. So you want it smaller, just enough room for them to kind of turn around, lay down comfortably. And there are travel cages like that, especially for hamsters and mice and things like that. Something else that you want to keep in mind is comfort for your animal. So like temperature, it's really hot out. So I made sure I had the AC running constantly for Pooh Bear. If you leave your pet in the car with the windows cracked, it can still get really hot in there. And I mean, just try it. And there are YouTube videos where like a veterinarian has sat in there for 30 minutes with a thermometer and done this whole scientific thing. And just try it. Just sit in the car for 5 to 10 minutes with the windows cracked. You will still get hot and you will still start sweating and get really uncomfortable. And your animal is covered in fur. They're smaller, so these things happen faster for them. They're going to overheat faster than you would because they're smaller. So it's really, really important that you do temperature control. Whenever we stopped for a break, I went through drive-thrus and I ate in the car. And I kept the car running so that the AC was always running for Pooh Bear. I don't want her to overheat. She's a black cat, so I don't want her to overheat. Make frequent stops so that they can stretch their legs, use the bathroom. Make sure that they get a chance to drink water, they stay hydrated, because just the stress of moving can make them pant, and they lose a lot of water through their saliva and panting. So you want them to stay hydrated. And you know, just because most adult dogs can hold their bladder for 8 hours, doesn't mean you should make them do that. That's not very nice. Stop every couple of hours for potty breaks and leg stretches and drinking water and things like that. There are options for stressful travel, and I'm going to make a different video for that, because there are a lot of options for if your animal does not travel well. Pooh Bear is one of those animals that does not travel well. So it doesn't have to be a horrible disaster. I'll make another video for that. Another reason you don't want your animal to roam around the car. I know people like to let their animal roam around the car. It's dangerous, not only because if you get into a wreck, they can be thrown through a window or, you know, just thrown around the car and injured, but especially cats and puppies and little dogs, they can get under your feet and under the pedals, and that's really dangerous. That can cause a wreck, and we don't want that either. Make sure that you take your pet to the veterinarian before traveling a long distance like we did across a couple of states. Just make sure that they're healthy for travel, that they're up to date on their vaccines. Get a printout of their health records so that if you are asked, you know, if someone is like, oh, you have an animal, where are their papers? Have their papers ready and on hand in the car. Have all of their tags, licenses. Pooh Bear has a microchip, so I have her microchip tag on a harness, and normally she doesn't wear a collar or a harness, but if we're traveling, I make sure that I have that with me, and if there's a possibility that I'm gonna let her out of the car, then I have her wearing that harness with that tag and a leash. You know, be prepared for these things. You know, moving to another state or to another place with an animal, they're going to an unfamiliar place, and if they escape the car or they escape you on the way to a new place, they don't know where they are. This is a very easy and common time to lose a pet during a move. So be careful, be prepared, have your pet microchipped, have them wearing their license and their tags. But a microchip is really, really good because they can't lose that. Lots of dogs slip their collars all the time, and then they don't have any identification on them. So make sure you take care of that too. So stay safe, keep your animals safe, travel wisely, and thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.